A very good morning and welcome to Khanty-Mansijsk for the the closing stages of the 2013 season, and what a season it's been. Two fantastic races left for both the men and the women. The pursuits and mass starts tomorrow. The women's pursuit is going to be the first off today, and of course the winners from the sprint 2 days ago going off first. So Gabriela Sukalova of the Czech Republic gets to start first for the second time this season. She's now notched up 2 victories this year, having not been anywhere near the podium before, so that's a fantastic season for her. Just a shame that she couldn't do it at the World Championships in front of a home crowd, but we'll be seeing how she gets on today. Sukalova, Henkel, Gusner, Vilakina, Kuzmina, Makarainen will be the first 6 away, and only 30 seconds separating the first starters. It's going to be an absolute cracker, and it starts shortly after this break. Well, just waiting for the start of the women's pursuit. Good crowd turning up, despite the fact that the weather's turned pretty grim. I guess it's here it's the same in Oslo. There'll be some concern about the 50-kilometre there, but I don't think there's any doubt that this race is going to get underway. Mike Dixon alongside myself, Patrick Winterton, once again. 2 days to go, Mike, as far as the Biathlon World Cups are concerned. How do you rate this season compared to those you've covered before?
I think the outstanding thing clearly is Tora Berger's raise in performance. She's really lifted her ability, and she's consistently placed herself on the podium. So for me, that's been the outstanding aspect of this season. And well, when you look at the rest of the Norwegian team, there's gaps in it, but she certainly has been the strong player on this World Cup this season. Andrea
Henkel, well, she may not have won a race, but my goodness, she's been consistent as well, showing good strength.
She has, and she was some doubters earlier in the season. You know why she's still in the team. She's 34-year-old. She's proved everybody wrong. Ranked 3rd at the moment, and maybe she can get this victory here. She's only 17 seconds behind Sukalova.
Tora Berger's going to have to do another great escape act if she's going to win today. Starting a little bit off the pace, 8th position she'll start today, some 44 seconds behind. Kajsa Makarainen's quick. Nadine Huschler, I'm not sure she's quite got the leg speed to win this one, but anyone who shoots clear here in Khanty-Mansijsk might be able to come through. Yurieva will be racing. Zaitseva's given herself a tough task, having made a mess of the sprint event. She starts down in 19th, 1:24. Something we've been discussing all season is how many people in the pursuit are usually in contention for the win. Now, Tora Berger's win from 14th through to 1st, I think that was Antolt's, was extraordinary. Generally, the winner of the pursuit is coming from the top 3.
Sadly, well, when pursuit rating came into the World Cup, or was tested back in '97, you would find people from way further back coming forward, and that was because the athletes weren't used to the pressure. They'd become accustomed to the pressure. I'm not sure if Miriam Gusner, even with the pressure, can hold her shooting, but we've seen that throughout the season. I would love her to be able to, say, hit 18 out of 20.
Well, she's won a pursuit before. Anastasia Kuzmina, I've got her down as lightning quick. Kuzmina, Makarainen, the 2 fastest skiers. Makarainen, now in your picture, giving away a lot of time, 10 to 15 seconds on every shoot in the sprint. If she does the same in the pursuit, with 4 shoots, she could be giving away 45-50 seconds to someone like Kuzmina, and she can ill afford that.
I wonder if there's been a chat with her coach, and it was Tora Berger, for Makarainen to say, right, calm it down, take more time in the range, stop stressing. I think that's the strategy, because her shooting has raised in this last couple of World Cups.
It has, but there's a happy medium somewhere, isn't there? Sort of 10 seconds, that's what, 80 metres. Because Kuzmina, Gusner are all skiing incredibly fast, so maybe she needs to find a balance. Daria Domracheva, way off the pace in the sprint, having shown the best skiing of the season that we've seen from any athlete in Sochi the week before. She had pole problems, and once again losing a lot of time on the range, so I don't think her poor result in the sprint was really an indication that she's started to drop away. 57 seconds, it's not a nightmare in terms of distance behind the leaders, and this very light snow that's been falling, you can see it there, it's a very dry snow, and certainly that does not help the glide for the early starters. Maybe Domracheva, skiing in the tracks of some of the others, will have a better ride on the first lap, certainly. Yeah, that could be worth 20, 25 seconds on the first lap, which will certainly even things up a little. -6, so relatively warm for this part of the world. It's when they're talking -26 that you start to get concerned. The limit of cold weather for racing, -18, if
-20.
-18, 20.
Yeah,
it's pretty unpleasant at -18. At -20, it's surely pretty dangerous.
It's horrible, and of course wind factors are taken into it as well. I see today it's 2 kilometers per hour. That would cancel the race at -18 today because of a 2 kilometer wind factor, getting an effective -22.
Well, let's have a look at the course. Look down the bottom left of your screen and you start to see the important information, and it's a pretty long climb out of the stadium, but then you get a long descent. That's where we'll get the time split just before the top of the last little rise. Long downhill, nothing technical, certainly not compared to Sochi, and then that brutally steep climb up into the stadium area.
I think that profile, Patrick, allows the chasers to work so hard to the top of the climb, knowing that they'll push themselves so hard, knowing that you've got that easier section for a minute and a half before the deadly climb up into the range.
And then following that climb, the profile there made it look flat. I guess it is now. In the old days, there used to be a little bridge they had to go over, which was another little sort of expenditure of energy just before the shooting. But still, it's not an easy approach, and consequently, I think it's unlikely we're going to see the winner shoot clear today. No one has won a pursuit shooting the perfect 20. And interestingly, Sokolova becoming the first person to start first in a pursuit, hit all the targets, and still not win.
That was
in Pachuca. Yeah, Miriam Gusner with 5 misses came through to take the win.
That's very surprising. Maybe Sokolova was the strategy obviously is to hit the targets, but taking a little more time. And of course, Gusner was on flying form on the skis back before Christmas.
Just got a brief glimpse of Vita Shimirenko, the French team there, looking good spirits considering they haven't won a single race this year. Maybe they're riding off the back of the men's success with, or should we say Martin Fourcade's success, because he's been the man who's dominated the French results. The French women, Mike, if you were coaching them, would you change that program of 10 days a month together, the rest alone?
I think I would. They're great shots. They can hit the targets, but there's something missing. They need to find 45 seconds over, well, today's distance. But to change that, I think you need a disciplined team. It's marginal. Maybe 2 camps of 8 days within the month. Get them back together, keep the team disciplined. I'm not saying they're undisciplined, but it just keeps the focus more on. And of course, Olympics coming up next February. I'm sure teams are adjusting strategies this summer anyway.
Well, there are the starting grids, and of course a fairly hefty penalty if you jump the gun today. I think the athletes have learned that the IBU are pretty strict on that. If you go early, you will be heavily penalised. We've seen it seems unnecessary. You go a 1/10 of a second earlier and you get a 30-second penalty. Seems harsh, but actually, because they applied the law, you now find that it doesn't happen nearly so often.
It certainly used to. you'd have marshals there on the gate with their hand on your shoulder, but athletes were breaking free beforehand. Now they've got the videos on each of the clocks, on each of the athletes, and nobody jumps the gun.
Yeah, all you've got to do is remember when you have to start. Maybe for some of them, that's the hardest part of the whole exercise. Incidentally, they have a little camera down by the side which records the start of everyone, and as soon as the start is complete, that goes into the official's office. They'll check the tape, which is why we won't get an instant feedback, and they'll just look at it and just make sure that everyone left at the right time. Gabriela Sokolova, well, she shouldn't have any problems because she is going to be the first one off. So the leading 15, now 20 are in place. 60 starters in the pursuit as always. Lots to fight for in the World Cup rankings. The overall globe, of course, has been won. Tora Berger, an astonishing 323 points clear of Daria Domracheva. Domracheva is 80 points clear of Henkel, so I don't think she's going to get caught even by the end of the season. And of course, Tora Berger with 5 globes already to her name. Sukalova underway, looking for win number 3 of the season. She's got a 17-second lead over Andrea Henkel, and it's up to the Czech to decide what her tactics are going to be. Henkel starting just 7 seconds clear of Miriam Gusner. Now, those two are likely to team up pretty soon, and probably on the first climb.
I wonder if they will try and work together. Well, it's a small margin, really, that Gusner is chasing Henkel down. She's most likely to pick her up within this first rotation.
Starting number 7 is Vita Shimirenko, who's had a good season, very good form in Oslo, but she's struggled. She's really struggled since the World Championships, actually, Shimirenko. Tora Berger starting just behind her, looking for a 19th podium of the season, and that, of course, would be a record, equaling Magdalena Forsberg. Baskar, Ekhoff, Pigdrushna, the world champion in the sprint discipline, starting 11th. 13 was Domracheva. Hildebrand goes for Germany, number 14. Julia Zima of Ukraine goes 15. Guisdon is there, who's recently had a win, in fact, in Sochi. So Guisdon 16's on very good form. And all those, I think the first 16, 17 have a chance of getting on the podium. The margin between Sukalova and Usanova in 17th place, 124. It's a big ask, Mike, but it is possible.
It is possible. Zaitseva is so focused when it comes to pursuits, when it comes to shooting 4 times. Today it's 2 prone, then 2 standing. And Zaitseva, I'm not writing her off at 124 behind, bib number 19.
You think she can shoot well enough? She missed 2 in the stand in the sprint. She's really got to shoot 19 or 20 to have a chance. But if things go well in the prone shooting, the first 2 shoots, maybe Zaitseva will just sense that she can take some pressure off Wolfgang Pichler.
Oh man, he is really under pressure. The press here. He obviously doesn't understand what they're saying about him, but of course it filters
through. That might be
through.
a good thing. Well, he'll be hoping that Vilikina can come through. There she is in 3rd position at the moment. Slightly surprised to see Vilikina going through past Miriam Gusner. Kuzmina is there. All the faster skiers at the front of the field. It's really set up for a fantastic race. I think it's a big ask for Tora Berger to